Aylin Sky Astro, a podcast that inspires the present-day visionary to live their best life. Capricorn, welcome to your April 2023 reading. We're going to be covering the most important transits and your numerology. We'll actually start with your numerology. And this month is so interesting in so many ways. What an interesting numerology you have. I'm going to pop it up here on the screen. Your numerology this month is 61. This is a very interesting and very intriguing number. This brings themes of intellectual stuff that you're diving into, focusing on mystery topics, focusing on topics that are very intriguing, very sort of time consuming. This can be themes around research or just, some kind of topic that needs to be, understood. It's begging to be understood. And so all of your energy is pouring into this kind of an area this month, which I thought was really, really interesting when I was taking a look at this numerology for you. Sometimes this number, 61, it can deal with keeping something a little hush hush, keeping something secret because you are not to reveal it yet. It's not time yet because it's not ready. And there's sort of a new building phase that you are going through and you just can't reveal what it is that you're up to at this time. These are the themes for this month. I thought it was just so interesting. It's so different than all the other readings that I've done so far. What a very interesting month. Now I'm going to pop up the chart for you guys. And you guys let me know, how these themes are unfolding for you. So here's your chart. Okay. A lot of the focus this month is in your fourth house of home and family. What you're seeing here is that this chart is kind of, almost towards the end of April, but a lot of the transits are going to be still applicable. So you're seeing kind of a snapshot of what mid-month the chart looks like. And you've just experienced basically a new moon in home and family. This is how you're going to finish out this month. And of course, the eclipse is going to happen, which is going to be our initiation into eclipse season, which is also going to be happening in your home and family house. And a lot of focus on that. There is a fresh start when it comes to home and family, your relationship to family, or you just really focusing on the new definition or some kind of a new fresh start when it comes to this topic. Now, the very beginning of the month, Mercury enters Taurus. And for you guys, this is going to be a time where you're going to be focusing on new ways that make you feel fulfilled. But it's sort of like a new way in which there's quality conversations of bringing something into your life that makes you fulfilled, happy, that you're vibing with. And there's a new incoming energy here. Why is this? Because Uranus is there. Uranus is bringing something that you didn't consider before. There's an unusual way of feeling fulfilled that you didn't expect, an unusual way of finding happiness that didn't exist before, you didn't consider it before. Sometimes this comes through with a new purpose. There's a sense of purpose that comes through because that's what the fifth house can sometimes bring. And so you focusing on something absolutely, new that is unusual is going to be the key kind of theme, I believe, for many of you. It can involve your children. Okay. It doesn't always have to be, but it can involve your children. And so as soon as Mercury enters Taurus, it squares Pluto. Where's Pluto? Pluto moved out of your first house into your second house of money. That's where Pluto is at in Aquarius. It's going to be here until June. It kind of goes back and forth between the first and the second house. And so what is this all about? This is you diving deeper into money matters now. There is a new territory, a new way in which becomes sort of available of how to build money, what to do with your assets, what you want to do with your assets, or how to earn income, but it has sort of a new edge to it. It's new. It requires some kind of a research. It requires for you to think differently. And there's a lot of quality sort of conversations or deliberate intentions behind this month. There's a lot of focus here. And it has to do with you feeling like this is almost like a new path that is opening up for you that will ultimately also change sort of home and family life as a result of it as well. But there is a reorganization at this time that is happening. Now, April 6th, there is a full moon in Libra at 16 degrees. For you guys, this is going to be about your career and what is happening at this time with home, and you feeling like that you need to heal the aspects of home deeply. And as a result, some relationship dynamics at work, there might be some kind of drama that you're running into. There might be something that you're going to have to work out in the day to day because you can't quite deal with these types of issues anymore. And so there is a change that is happening here between what home needs to look like and what, as a result, career is going to look like moving forward. Now, on April 11th, I just realized my computer is on low battery. It is plugged in, but I hope I'm not going to lose you guys. But if I do, come back for part two. All right. Venus enters Gemini. And for you guys, this is sort of a breath of fresh air in your day to day. Can we just talk about the last freaking 7 months of Mars in Gemini being in your day to day responsibility house, like the lifestyle house? This was a lot of work. Okay. So there is a breath of fresh air where you feel like everything that you have been working on over the last 6 to 7 months, Venus now comes in Gemini. It brings an exciting energy. It brings sort of an energy where you're excited to take on your day, where you're excited to get organized, where you're excited to dive into all the daily stuff, where routines get created here that are coming to you more easily, or you're living your life in a more exciting or easy way. And this is, of course, a welcome energy after all of that concentration, that you had to pour in, all that energy, the watts that you had to put out with Mars being in Gemini in your sixth house. Now, April 11th, also, Venus is going to come into a trine with Pluto. Everything is happening at 0 degrees. We had a new moon at 0. We had, or we will have, that Mercury square Pluto at 0. And of course, Venus is joining the party. Venus squares Pluto in your second house. So your lifestyle and money situation here, there is a new way in which you are finding that your lifestyle becomes at this time even more productive, or it becomes even more intriguing. Okay. There is a new thing that you must protect. And this is the epiphany here. Okay. At 0 degrees, this is something that we're personally processing. It's not so much about a real big change in the day to day. But with Venus basically trining Pluto, this is a renewal energy for you to feel like all the hard work that you have put in, you can trust now what you have created over the last 6 to 7 months. You can trust even relationships. There's a renewal in relationship energy here. But ultimately, this is digging up any kind of core issues you experienced, and it's making your interactions with people in your day-to-day easier, and you're able to come up and deal with situations a lot easier. There is a epiphany or a realization that is coming in, which then also gets backed up with feeling supportive or feeling supported with people that are around you that you consider family. There's kind of a very supportive growth period that starts to kick in. Things are supportive when it comes to home. There is a Sun-Jupiter conjunction that is going to be happening in your fourth house at 21 degrees. And so things are moving forward. Things that you have been wishing to move forward are moving forward at this time. And not only this month, but essentially, like all year long. This is a big Sun-Jupiter conjunctions brings supportive energy, but it's also energy on steroids, and it could be like a big party that you're throwing as a result of it too, because things feel really good. And it's also a conflict resolution energy here. Now, last quarter moon in Capricorn, I want to talk about this because this is going to be a really important transit to pay attention to. Now, you had Pluto in your first house, and it moved out of your first house and moved into the second house during this particular season that you're in. Okay. This last quarter moon is going to have you reflect upon the last couple of years and what has unfolded with your, I don't want to say persona, but the way in which you are portraying yourself, because the first house has to do with you and how others view you. That interaction has to do with your vitality in general. And so there's a moment here where I think for many of you, you will find this moment that you're reflecting upon that is making you feel so much stronger in who you've become over the last couple of years. Like this is a thing, a moment, a pause where you're reflecting upon that you really as a person now are equipped to, show a particular side of yourself that feels strong, that feels like will bring results. Okay. This is a result driven moon. This is sort of like I'm equipped to deal with things and I can integrate them now more easily. And I love that for you guys. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the very next day, there is a Venus square Saturn that is happening. And that is going to happen between your sixth house and Saturn has just entered your third house. There's some kind of conversation that's coming up here. And I want to just kind of hover over it so you can see it. So here's Saturn, and it's going to form that square to Venus in the sixth house. There's some kind of conversation that comes up for a brief moment where there's a blockage in relationship and communication, some misunderstandings that could come up with this. There's something that feels like spiritually off. You feel like a coworker is not getting you. You feel like there's some kind of situation where this person's not understanding what you're trying to communicate, and you have to sort of slow things down and deal with the breakdown. Squares are things to overcome, to get a little bit stronger, and to, build something more solid. That is sort of the conversation theme that I'm seeing for many of you. So pay attention to that. Of course, later on in the month, we're going to have an eclipse. Watch out for that report. That's going to be a different report. And so the last thing I do want to talk about is Mercury begins its retrograde phase, and this is going to be in your fifth house. So any new ways that will, prove to be worthy pursuing when it comes to your fulfillment, your happiness, your children, your romantic life, when it comes to having fun, when it comes to being in the competitive spirit in a good way. Sometimes the fifth house can be like competition in a good way, stuff that you are really excited to get into, but not necessarily competition with other people, but it's just like a challenge for you that you want to take on. There is a moment where you have to reflect and sort of reorganize and re-strategize your approach and dive a little bit deeper into researching this, because there is a new sort of feeling in a territory that comes up. And so this retrograde is going to have you focus on that, becoming a lot more deliberate. That is going to be the key, because towards the end of the month, you see that Mercury has Uranus attached to it, or Mercury is attached to Uranus. The other way around, Uranus is ahead of the game here, and it's decision-making time. There's a lot of decision makings. They will come in fast. They will come in sudden. And this is about new potentials that open up, of you pursuing things that are really important to you, but also feel new, and the value in your life when it comes to your happiness, when it comes to your fulfillment, when it comes to your children, the purposeful feeling, it's rising. And that is really important and worth paying attention to. And the next thing I want to do is we are going to be drawing a tarot card for you guys. Let me just remove this, put up the full screen. Any kind of last thing to focus on. Let's take a look at these cards. And I want to know how this month is unfolding for you guys. What an interesting numerology that you had, I want to know how this month is unfolding. Let me know in the comment section below. Your numerology was so different than all the other signs. I love that. Sometimes that's just what it is, the energy grabs us in a way where it's just different, what's to come. So let's take a look. Six of Wands. Definitely you're going to feel like there is an energy that is coming through. You don't even know. You can't even explain it, but you will have the energy to kind of really focus on things that make you feel alive. Because that's what we're seeing in the Six of Wands. The Wands deals with you as a person. The six is a number of you opening up, but the Six of Wands in general is like a desire that you've had where it's worth pursuing and it is worth stepping into. Okay. That is what I'm seeing here. The spotlight is going to be on this new pursuit, this new path that's opening up that is going to make you feel happy starting now, no other time. Like the time is now. And this is going to be really important as well. And I just want to see, I want to pull one more card. Let's do one more card and look at the bottom of the deck. Let's do it. Why is this coming in right now? You know, why is that so important? And look at that. Because emotionally, you're ready to move on. Look at that. 8 of Cups. Emotionally, you guys are ready to move on. Like you're ready to kind of just walk away from. It looks like many of you have been dealing with this like nasty situation lately. I don't want to say lately because it's been going on for maybe a couple weeks and months even for some of you. And so that situation was just like, it was hard to deal with, but now you're ready to move on from that chapter. And this month is bringing that breath of fresh air to do it. And things will feel so different because of you pursuing your happiness in a way where, you know, it just makes you come alive. And that's what the most important message is here for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Let me know in the comment section below how everything is going. Make sure you look out for my full moon in Libra report because we are going to be diving deeper into what that full moon is going to bring for you. And I'm going to see you in the next episode. Bye.